Pink.
I liked
Cute.
this section more than the first section.
The first section
I
is,
liked it more than the first section too.
yeah. I think it's just getting the information and kind of rewiring your brain to like the past and what's going on and all that. I don't
Mm,
know. But it was it was good.
I
I
liked
think
that.
it was interesting that it wasn't
Mhm.
there was a little bit of a twist, you know.
With the name. I liked that they kind of tricked us with the name because I wasn't expecting that. So,
Yeah.
so that was like a legit surprise. I was like, who is this James person?
Yeah.
He purposely said that though. I feel like when coming into the meeting, he's like, "My name is, but my friends call me."
Yeah.
Hmm.
When he said that, I was like, I mean, obviously he knew since the beginning. I reread the first section because I listened to it and there was a lot
Hmm.
of things I didn't catch.
Hmm.
And at the end of one chapter, he literally says lemon. Oh, it's
Yeah.
at the end of chapter one.
So
But
he's saying,
because we didn't know, like obviously I had listened to the first section and then I went back because
hmm.
I knew he calls her lemon. Then
Hmm.
obviously I was like, oh my God, it's right there in front of
Hmm.
our faces in the first chapter. Um, so I mean, I think going back and rereading the whole thing, actually getting the information, I think I got more into it. And I was like, oh my God, this guy knows. And she had no idea, had not met him yet. And I'm like, oh,
And
yeah,
then they didn't get the offer, the bid too. So I feel like that's like maybe she's gonna go after him and be like, was it because of me? That's not fair to my friend. Please give her a chance or something. But I
yeah.
think he did it on purpose because they said most everyone's gonna go on to the cook off, and I'm very interested in that component of it.
I'm also feeling like if they work together, you know how it's like, I mean, I know like coworkers can date and stuff, but I think you know how there's that like complication. So I
Conflicts of
feel like part
interest.
of him is kind of like, well, I mean, we don't really know him that well, but in my head, I'm thinking he's thinking ahead, kind of like, oh my gosh, he's here, and I'm
Hmm.
hoping he's single and no kids or no attachments, right? That he can be like, because it seemed like he was doing some sort of banter, kind of like, very lightly.
Hmm.
So if they went with her deal or their deal, then it's like they'd be working together, but also if he was interested, it may not be possible. I
Yeah.
don't
Or maybe he's still like more focused on his success and therefore he's more
know.
concerned about the book deal too. 'Cause, I mean, it is a factor.
Yeah, that's true.
I liked how it wasn't just like your standard like, oh, he got with someone else. It was literally like
Hmm.
he is a different kind of person, which I think is much more interesting than just,
Hmm.
some complication of like logistics or romantic entanglements. I thought it was much more interesting that he's like different now.
Hmm.
Um, that's a more interesting way to deal with the time jump than just like, oh, he moved on, you know?
Yeah, and then it's
Yeah.
like the triangle where obviously he already has someone, but it's someone from the past, and I get that.
Also, like how his whole writing style changed and looking back to the 7 years ago, like he probably legitimately got his feelings hurt. So he's like, I don't know what to do. And that might have made him react in a way where he was more standoffish. Cause like maybe he thinks he got abandoned. He's like, oh, I thought we had like chemistry or something. And then she totally disappeared for 7 years.
Do you
So
think they'll revisit it though? Because she literally just leaves one morning. Like there
yeah.
must have been a time period where he's like, "Okay, bye."
Hmm.
So I'm there has to be like a over like more time there.
I think so. And I think maybe I'm imagining like what if she goes back and forth more, but she doesn't know it yet because of the time travel thing. And what if she's gonna have to tell him about the time travel thing too eventually, I think, because it's the only way he's gonna understand. Like I didn't just ditch you, That
Like
got
the
spirited
aunt
away.
ended up telling Vera, right? Or no?
I think so.
I think she did. So I feel like maybe
Vera already knew. Remember, Vera told the aunt about the time
that's
travel.
right. That's
Mm.
right.
Hey, Julie.
I just
Hi.
Hi,
Sorry.
Julie.
I was so excited for the meeting and then it. got busy.
I lost track
I
of
love
time.
that.
Judith had to text me.
Yeah, I think it's a time change. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It threw me off. I was like, oh, I still have time. I was like, oh, wait, no, I don't. Gotta log in.
Yeah, it's not as nice as the fall backwards one where we get an extra hour.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow's gonna be rough.
Yep.
Yeah, did you guys start already?
Just a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah,
So.
yeah.
A little
What
bit.
What do you think so far, Julie, compared to the last section?
So the first section, like it took me a while to kind of get into it, but
Mhm.
now I felt like this section I went through like super fast, and I'm like intrigued. And yeah, we kind of predicted last time like about the chef, so it all kind of came
Mhm.
forth. And then what was the end of the last chapter? It was kind of a cliffhanger.
He
Um,
recognized her. He said, "Oh, Lemon," and then he kind of left, and they did not get the bid for the book publishing thing.
Yeah, and then she was like Facebook stalking him or what, Instagram.
With the other name, yeah, that's why she couldn't get anything. I thought
Yeah,
that was
that's
pretty
so
clever.
funny. Yeah,
Mhm. Oh,
yeah.
I had a reaction. I was like, "Oh, he has a different name." And Rico was like, "What's happening in your book?"
I actually screamed like at the end where he goes, "It's nice to see you, Lemon." I
me
was like,
too. I was like in the living room by myself, like, oh, I'm like,
Yeah.
do I
but the
want?
way I pictured it was him like kind of leaning over and like the table as she's trying to collect the things, and he kind of like leaning into her, like it's not like pretty close because she said she can smell him,
Hmm.
and she's like, "It's nice to see you, Lemon," and I was like,
I would have died.
Yeah. Imagine.
But there was a lot of those moments where I'm just like, oh, like the whole love in the pie. It's so like like not even cringy. It's just very like,
Oh,
ooh,
there's a lot of cutesy kind of cliche language
yes.
where it's partially annoying me, but then also it's managing to keep me intrigued anyway.
It's like it's not too much. It's like the right amount to be like, okay, there's chemistry between them. Like clearly at first I was like, they've known each other for a day and she's over here like, I'm gonna fall in love with him. I'm gonna have issues. And I'm like, it's a day. Like, girl, calm down. But now I see it and now I'm just like, oh, lemon.
I'm interested to see how they develop the story though. Like, how does they go from rejecting the bid to them coming back? Like, because I'm sure now that they've like met each other in this like in current time, like
Mhm.
to see how they develop the story between them. Like, if it's gonna be a friendship, if it's something romantic, I'm curious.
And what happens when she leaves that one like pastime? And then, you know, because she's coming back, and is she coming back to the past person? Or in my head, I kept thinking that he went to go find her because he knows where she lives, right? Or lived.
Maybe because he got the letter. How did he know where to go, I guess?
Yeah, I was just thinking like he obviously lived there. He maybe was like, oh, where was it? Where was it? And he's looking for her.
Mhm.
And then like to maybe see her in the present time. But I'm also thinking when she opens the door
And
or
he's there. That's a little creepy.
no, but
That was a
I
little
think it's the
creepy.
past. It's the
Mhm.
past guy. I would the whole
Think so?
time,
Yeah, it's the past.
yeah, it's the past.
Oh.
It's
Why
not
did I think because she was coming home from
it's
that
not the
whole like
Yeah,
and she
he's
future.
kept
still
thinking
she's
about it?
gone back again.
She went back in time.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's what at first I kept thinking on her way, you know, she's like, oh yeah, she's gonna go home, blah blah blah. She keeps thinking about him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what if he's like outside, like where they live, outside the Monroe, kind of like to talk to her or whatever. In my head, I'm thinking that.
Oh, and she
But
doesn't
then
come back.
just to be like, oh, hey, you know, just to talk more. But then she's like about to go into she opens the door and I'm like, that's not, it'd be weird how you said, Crystal. It'd be creepy to have him just open the door
Yeah.
and be
That's
there.
why I was like, oh,
Like,
that was weird.
no, 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 no. It's the past him. But I'm like, in the past, does it go like the next day or does it go months?
Hmm.
And or
It
like
has
what
to be
happened?
next day because he
I
was
think
only
it's exactly 7 years at all times.
Mhm.
Mm.
So it's been the same amount of time, I think, as currently.
But
Okay.
do you think, because he's obviously not seeing her in future time, right? Or like, do you think she's also like herself, like past 7 years ago when she goes back into this apartment? They don't really say if she looks at her reflection or anything, or she did when she went into the shower.
I
Because I'm
think
like,
it's the
I don't
same.
see how that makes sense.
I think it's she's the same person.
If he's changed 7 years later, like does she look older, or is like
No.
she's just a complete
That's because
saint that
she's
he's
traveling
seeing?
she's traveling through time, but she's staying her same self, like no matter what. So like if one day passes, it's 7 years in the future, she'll be one day older,
Mhm.
even
Yeah.
though 7 years technically has passed. But I also wonder, like in the Harry Potter Prisoner of Azkaban, they like when they travel to the past, their past selves are there too. So I'm curious if like that will come out or how the time travel science is really going to work because each book sometimes they make different little rules, but that's how I've
Mm-hmm.
seen time travel for the majority of the
Mm-hmm.
time.
Yeah, because technically she's in Europe, right, with her aunt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's not there.
And
So like,
go
and
first.
I was thinking she doesn't know yet if she's gonna go back more times, but he knows how many times she's been back.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
The
so
future him knows
trippy.
everything that's gonna happen, but she doesn't yet.
that's
That's
crazy.
that's
Maybe that's why he's colder to her too. Because imagine she comes back and forth and she's like la 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 every time,
because
and then
something
he's gone
happened.
for long spans of time. Like here's 1 year, see you later. Like 4 years
Yeah.
later, I'm coming back to the apartment and he's there. He might be like, "What the hell is happening? I'm so confused."
Very wishy-washy. Like,
Hmm.
why are you seem interested and then you're gone and you don't come
Hmm.
back like what was it, weeks?
Yeah.
Months? I can't remember. But there was like a gap. So I'm like, obviously that's gonna, I don't know, that's gonna have him thinking things, like you're gone for days, weeks. Where'd you
Hmm.
go? You live
Well, I
here.
think they just had the one weekend, right? And then it's weird that she just left and like went to work and then it changed the time
Hmm.
to normal time.
I thought it was because she told her friend that she had met somebody and told her the name. That
Oh,
I was like, oh, maybe she like fucked with like, magic
like
because
you can't
she's
tell him yet.
sharing. Yeah, because she's sharing what had
Hmm.
happened or what she's
Mhm.
experiencing.
That's a good point. Sometimes you have to keep things a secret for the
That's what,
magic to work.
Yeah, for the magic.
that's what I was thinking when I thought the aunt is the one that told Vera. But you guys are right. It's Vera who told the aunt. So then it gets complicated because I think she even had she was thinking like if I tell anybody like it's gonna ruin this. And
Hmm.
I wonder if it does or like what happens.
Well, not
The
only
thing
that.
I think would be interesting is if
Mhm.
somehow she goes 7 years in the future and I don't know, like meets a future him or a future somebody.
Oh, that's a good point, Paula. Because like, what if she goes 7 years in the future, as you said? I think he's married, so if she doesn't make a move, like that's it. They're not gonna be together if she wants to be with him. That is, but she has to be careful what she says too because of how her friends react. Like they're trying to make her go on other dates and stuff. And so I think it's probably better to keep it hush hush because then her friends might think she like, if she can't like produce the guy like oh yeah I met this guy okay where is he they're gonna think she's off her rocker.
But he's like changed so much. So like I don't know, so many questions. One, is she gonna confront him to try to get into this cooking class? Two, does he want her to say this cookbook idea is not good? You should go back to your roots. Or would he be offended by that?
Oh, that's a good point. It's so different than how he wrote the article before. I'm moving back to Masala.
Yeah. And then can they like rekindle who he was? Because that's who she fell in love with.
Yeah, maybe he's like that now because his last memory of sharing that information was when he was cooking for her, and then she did. Like he thinks that she betrayed him or something.
And maybe she did, but we don't know. She doesn't even know.
She doesn't know what she did.
But like, I don't know. is this book gonna go on 7 years? I mean, it seems like we need this book deal like ASAP. So
What if the company closes down without him since they lost their other celebrity chef person?
Ooh.
yeah, like, are they gonna show her visiting every few months for 7 years? I don't know.
I can kind of see it going a route where I think this has happened in some of our texts before, where she might have to decide, like, do I go for the romantic interest or do I go for the career since the boss is retiring? Like, because what if he's like, oh, like, I'll be with you, but now I'm not attached to the idea of the book, so I'm not going to leave that behind. Then that ruins everything for her colleagues and the company.
Well, I think she can only go back while he's staying there. So really, it's just that summer that he was in the apartment. So there's only a limited amount of time.
Oh, that makes sense too.
So it's only really maybe like the events of the novel are just going to happen during that summer because she's going back to him and she's dealing with him in the present. And it's actually kind of trippy because the present him actually knows what's going to happen, but she and the past him don't. It's actually like weird. It's like she could be talking with him and then going back, and then she could be talking with him again. Like it's like happening in real time.
That's intense.
Oh yeah. I was thinking, but this couldn't happen, but I was thinking, what if she later meets someone else and then her future boyfriend time travels back to him? But like you're saying, no, because she doesn't really have anyone, unless she had someone like right now. But
I wonder if the apartment only does one person. Because you know how for the aunt, it was just like Vera, or it didn't sound like she mentioned anybody else. So I'm wondering if it's only like they pick one person and then that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Over time, you just keep seeing different timelines of with this one person. But then, I don't know, have questions. How? How and why him?
We need more information.
Yeah.
well, then I'm like, did the aunt like kind of set this up like knowingly?
Yeah, which is what we mentioned previously, where I'm like, I think I had said that maybe he has some sort of like connection with Vera. Like, I know he keeps saying his grandpa, and I'm like, but what if Vera is his mom and
Yeah,
then
it's
somehow
possible.
connected, like, you know?
Oh, through the
But
bloodlines.
why?
And
Just to
then
like,
we don't know how the aunt died. What if the
yeah.
aunt was like, you have cancer, you have 7 years to live. And then she like formulated this and was like, let me get Vera's son to sublet. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Mhm. It's interesting. I like it.
I'm intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
I have to
Yeah,
say,
the first section, I was kind of like, this is kind of like this is a little cliche, but then it got more interesting. So now I'm back on board.
Yeah.
it's very different because of the time traveling component that makes it really interesting for me. And I do think the second section overall is better than the first. And I like that it involves someone who's a chef and just like book publishing and that kind of those kind of careers make it interesting for me on the side too. The stuff I'm interested in.
Kind of gives me like Atlas vibes from It Ends
Oh
with Us.
yeah,
I get that.
because he's a chef. That makes sense.
I also like that I'm not gonna say I'm like everything like her, but my favorite color is yellow. And the fact that she goes to see the sunflowers and the Van Gogh at the Met, and I just saw that when the last time I went to New York, I'm just like, oh my God, girl, yes, keep going. What's gonna happen with you? Like I'm rooting for her, but I'm also like, girl, what? How are you putting everything that I know and I have talked to about, like even I literally just talked about Waffle House with one of my friends. And the fact that they put Waffle House on there, I'm like, is this book like reading into my conversation? Like, I don't know. There's just too many coincidences. It's making it
The
more.
parts of your psyche are emerging. It's very
Yeah, I don't
serendipitous.
know. like I said, I'm not like her, but there's a little bit of things that I'm like, wait, I like that. Wait, that's me. So I think I'm connecting to it more in that way too.
I do
And
love lemons.
I also love lemon cake, lemon cookies, like anything, and I'm just like, damn it, girl. But yeah.
And I like the idea of someone using a cookbook to like give homage to their family. I think that's a super cool concept.
I also realized, even though I was making fun of his name, that I did know this actor from like this British show. Actually, he's on Game of Thrones too. I don't know if any
Oh,
of you watch Game of Thrones. You know
yeah.
Ramsay Bolton?
Yeah.
That's his name is Ewan Ryan or however you say his name. And I was like, oh, actually, I do know that name, and he's a Welsh actor,
That
so
makes
that makes
sense.
sense. So I was like making fun of that name before, but then I realized I knew somebody with that name.
I think I like needed to know that it came from a certain language because at the beginning I'd never heard it, and I was like, "Is this made up or what's going on?"
That
Yeah,
is
I
so
thought it was a good
true.
twist also that like it was a middle name.
Mm-hmm.
And now that he's all serious, he doesn't want to go by it.
I thought he had changed his name completely. I was like, wow. He
For a,
really said, I'm
for a
gonna be
second there, I thought the apartment switched his name almost to kind of like hide his identity.
Oh, mm-hmm.
which is what we had said last meeting. We're like, oh, maybe like it hides their identity. Maybe it does like, to protect and then
So you can't find them in real time.
yeah, make it easier to keep hidden and a
Protect
mystery.
his persona. I feel like that's kind of the cool bit about the
Yeah.
book, though, because it's like we could have gone so many directions with like, oh, like someone, like because there is a magical component, like oh, someone took over his body, now they're James, or you know. But I like that it was such a simple explanation because with
I
the time
know.
travel, I was like, who knows what could have happened.
Yeah, and it actually like makes sense too with the whole like you're different now than you were.
Mm-hmm.
Like it actually is very clean in
That's
how that worked out.
mm-hmm.
But I think it is the magic too, because she said his face is like on all these magazines, all these billboards, and she didn't even like
Right.
notice. And she's like in
She seems
publishing.
oblivious though, like
Yeah,
honestly.
she is.
I
But
was
you think like if you're in publishing, you would read magazines. I don't
Well,
know.
maybe
That's a
she's
good
still
point.
grieving from her
I,
aunt and everything.
I was gonna say that. I think she's just so blinded by, I mean, grieving the aunt. And now this person came in, and now she's like, no, I'm not gonna fall in love with him. I don't want him around. And then she's like, where'd you go? Where'd you go?
Yeah.
And she keeps trying to look for him. And I don't think she's really paying attention to her job. I mean, I think Rhonda and or Drew at some point were like, hey, hey, Clem, Clem. And then she's just like, wait, what? And then she's like, no, no, I'm not. Like she's not fully there. She's too distracted, the grieving, but also I think just now thinking about I'm gonna call him James because I like James better.
Did you know that name means trickster? I know somebody with that,
No.
and their mom told me that it means trickster, and I'm like, that is so funny.
Well, I really hope not.
James or Ewan?
James.
James? Hmm.
Oh, I don't like that.
It's
Not that,
also
not that he's
so
gonna be,
There's so many
playing.
people named James though.
That's true.
it's also so weird like she didn't read that article like her coworker sent her the article about him, but she
Mm-hmm.
didn't read it until after she met him.
That's true.
Like, I mean, until after the time travel, but
And it's
before
like
she knew that
straight
was
up.
Ivan. But
Maybe James thought that she was being really fake because of how they bumped into each other at the restaurant, and maybe he thought like, oh, she looked at my face and she didn't recognize me. I don't know because they talk about it a little bit at the beginning of the meeting in the publishing house. But that could have been another reason why he was being cold.
yeah, but I don't know if she saw his eyes then,
That's
because
true. I think she bumped into him with her back, so she probably didn't see him.
it was like his arms, his chest, or whatever.
His arms around me when we were dancing.
His tattoos.
You guys are gonna make the
Look,
tea come out of my nose.
I'm just thinking about the wisp behind his ear. That is so. What?
It's very quirky.
Yeah.
someone's been watching The Bear and all the tattoos they have. I looked up Ewan and on Reddit it says how is Ewan pronounced, and the first one is about that actor. It's the only one everybody knows with
The
that
James
name.
Bolton, yeah.
Game
Is
of
the Game
Thrones?
of Thrones guy.
God, I did not like him.
He's a good evil guy. He came out in the new Salem's Lot.
Oh, he was in that one too?
I believe
Oh.
so, but he looked different, like he had a mustache or something. But I was late to the Game of Thrones show, and I just finished watching it last summer or spring. So I kind of had the characters' faces fresh in my mind. Then I watched that in the fall, and I'm like, wait a minute, I've seen this guy before. I'm pretty sure. You'll have to fact check me.
Yeah, I first saw him in this little show. It was a British show that literally no one watched over here, but he played like a sweet nerd, which was so funny with how he did on Game of Thrones playing a psycho. I was
Psychopath.
just like, he has a lot of range.
Mm-hmm. That's a mark of a good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's 40. Sorry. Now I'm looking him up on Wikipedia.
That was the first thing that I always see is their age and when their birthday is. I'm like, what's your sign? Not
He's
that it has to
fluent
do with
in Welsh
anything.
and English, with Welsh being his first language.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
When did this book come out? Is it newer?
I think it is.
Well, they
Let's
mentioned
see.
TikTok.
Okay,
That throws me off. I was like, oh,
I'll
what?
look it up.
I was gonna say the pandemic, but no, that's the wedding people. I'm reading that one at the same time, and I was like, wait.
It's it's kind of like a mind trip because there's certain similarities between books. Like last month, it was I was reading The Wedding People and then Viola's, and then there were certain little things where I was like, oh wait, no, that wasn't that book. Oops.
It's 2023.
June 27th. Mm-hmm.
Real close.
So it's pretty new.
A year, a year and a half.
Wait, what year?
2023.
2023.
Okay.
I like it.
I feel like this is totally something they're going to turn into a movie.
Yeah,
I can see it.
100%.
there's not many.
Considering they're doing that a lot these days.
Yeah.
People aren't as creative now. They're just making up like I think they're just making books into movies now because it's easy.
Mhm.
Or they have the script already, they just have to adapt it.
That's a book talk. I'm just kidding.
Mhm.
And also book talk, yeah. What was I gonna say? I can't remember now.
Lifetime movie. Lindsay. Okay.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say there's very little romances with that time travel component, so I do think like it'd be viable. Let me go grab it. I left it in my room.
Oh.
I feel like this would be super easy to read like in a weekend, like a
Mhm.
beach read.
Just sit and be like, wow. What did I put here?
Yeah, because it has like real things going on in it, but it's also not super heavy,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not like super lightweight, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, like that other author, was it Emily Henry or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
I don't know. Her books, they kind of annoy me. I don't know what it is. But like this one doesn't annoy me.
I think it's when you add too much of like the romancy stuff that you're like, okay, like you've seen in other books and like I feel like it doesn't make it as realistic, you know? Or
Yeah.
maybe it is realistic in some cases, but I feel like it's not always.
Or maybe because hers are like predictable because she has them like kind of fighting. It's like you know they're gonna end up like she only has
Yeah,
like the two characters, so it's like you know they're gonna end up
like the full
together.
on, yeah, the friends to lovers or the um
This one
enemies.
has more like real life troubles too, in terms, although it's in the background, like her job, if this deal doesn't go well and she has to decide, does she want to take a higher position if her boss retires, and then coming off of a relationship and grieving her aunt's death. I think it makes it seem more realistic, like something that people can relate to.
I think it's also interesting that she was describing that James was kind of like her aunt. So part of me at some point I was like, is she like being attracted to him because she's grieving and sees similarities with the aunt, kind of being like, oh, now he's filling that like void with these certain characteristics? Or is she truly, like, I don't know, like, I don't want to say that you attract a certain type, or like you go with a certain thing, but I don't know. I feel like they're gonna end up together in the end, or I don't know if that can that be possible? I feel like the apartment doesn't make it possible, right?
I think they might not be able to, based on
No,
not
maybe
being able
maybe not.
to be with Vera.
So I'm gonna go with my typical. I want them to, but it probably won't happen.
I kind of envision the same, but like it ending with
Mhm.
like a thing saying like don't fall in love in this apartment. I don't know, something like that.
Back
Mhm.
to the rules of
Hmm.
what
Also,
was that
though,
called?
it would be really funny, since we are talking about James of Thrones, Game of Thrones. If James represents her aunt and she falls in love with her aunt, then it would be like what's his face, Jon Snow falling in love with his aunt.
Hold on. Oh, wait. Now because I'm like, oh, maybe the aunt set this up, but it's like she doesn't want her to fall in love in the apartment.
But
So
she has
maybe,
to learn a lesson, right?
Mhm.
yeah. Or maybe she just wanted them to meet if it's Vera's son. I don't know. I'm so confused.
I know, because now with what Karina said about the whole, like, you said that he falls in love with the aunt.
No, sorry.
Oh,
I think I was saying it as
sorry,
a
threw me.
joke. I was saying that if it is like Game of Thrones and James represents her aunt, she falls in
Oh,
love with him, then it would be like Jon Snow falling in love with his aunt in
oh, yeah,
Game of
yeah, okay, I
Thrones.
see. Yeah,
Sorry, I was saying it
okay.
as a joke.
I know you said it as a joke, but then my mind goes, you know, and
That
I
would
was
be a
like,
trip, though.
wait
Her
a
aunt comes back
second.
and takes him away. Oh my God.
I
That's what
think
I
a
was.
lot, but like
Rude.
a lot of people fall for people like women I know. It's like their dad type. Like, I don't know, my cousin, all her men look the same. And they all kind of look like her dad. And it's really weird.
And that's, do we know if the aunt ever had children?
I don't think so.
No. Oh, well, no, she wanted to be with Vera, so
That would be a very different route than anything we've read before. So maybe it could happen.
I don't know. The possibilities endless. ¿Quién sabe?
Like, you want to say hi?
Hi.
Hello.
They can hear you. Say hi.
Hi. It's like, what's that?
She has not heard the book because there's some bad words.
The birds.
Where's your face?
Hi, Vicky.
There's everyone's face.
It's not mine. Sorry, not mine.
Yeah, come say hi. They're like,
Okay, you gotta take your time. Yes. Yes, Mom.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay,
Hi,
go.
Gabby.
they're like about to go shower, so I'm not trying to show their whole body. They're
Oh,
recording.
baby. You're
Hello.
so cute.
Like, who's talking?
So cute.
Oh, adorable.
Oh my goodness.
Hello, cheeks.
So much hair.
Have
I
all
know.
this hair.
A lot of hair.
Those cheeks remind me of the cheeks I had when I was a baby. I look at pictures and they were like that. Oh,
She's
She
like
looks like
reaching for
you,
the phone.
Julie. She looks like you.
She looks like me.
Yeah.
oh, my baby smile was so cute. Oh,
She's like reaching out.
Her little hands.
just trying to type. What do you think of the book? I'm just kidding.
I know. I was thinking, I don't think she's heard much.
That's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Our next section is 22 to 31. Woo. And it's our third one.
Okay.
So I think
Not.
books. I think we think of books now. Yes. I got a little out of the whole schedule, but I think we should pick a theme, and the next time around we bring book suggestions. So then for the last one, we have the book ready.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
April theme. What is April?
I did not think of one because
Spring, Earth Day, International Women's Month this month. Spring equinox. I think in the past around this time we've done something with like new beginnings.
Oh, I had thought about one where I was like, any book that was a debut for this author.
Oh, there you go. Like a new
And
author book.
like if we've already read a certain author or you like an author, but you've never read like, or if you want to reread their first book that was released. I was thinking, I was like, oh, that'd be kind of fun. Because you know how they're like, oh, their debut book.
Yeah, I like that idea.
And Book of the Month has that where it's like, oh, debut. And I was like, oh, that's kind of like that they do that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
My coworker said the Anthony Bourdain like memoir is good, but I wonder if that's like his only book or
The memoir, is it recent?
well, I'm not that recent because he passed away, you know.
I think it's about traveling and food. That would be intriguing too.
I feel like so I was with Crystal this morning, and I feel like I saw the book.
Yeah, I feel like I saw him.
I turned on
like
my
a
video
quote.
for a minute.
Hey, Paola.
Maybe like I saw something on Instagram, like a quote, one of his quotes.
Yeah, I saw the book at the bookstore we were at.
Mm.
What is this?
No Reservations. Is that the book?
I think
Oh,
so.
that was the name of his show.
Okay.
But would his debut book be like a cookbook?
No, I think he actually did have a memoir. Was it the one that was made into an actual? So I think one of them was made into a movie or a TV show, and it was him like in the kitchen, like being crazy. So I think he did actually have a memoir when like he was younger, and it got him famous.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I could be wrong.
Books.
Kitchen Confidential. That
Yes,
must be
yes,
it.
that was made into a TV show.
Oh,
starring
Giving
Bradley Cooper.
Oh.
I think starring Bradley Cooper. I could be wrong. I think I'm right.
Okay. Well, I might pitch it. I don't know.
I like that idea.
I don't know if it really counts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying any first book of a person. Oh wow, it was a show.
And then it got canceled.
The creator of Sex and the City. Oh, interesting.
Everybody, my coworker.
What?
A little face.
Oh, it's like what's going on?
Yeah, your eyes scanning.
Julie, how was your candle making class?
Oh, good. It was a baby shower, and they had like and I just was like, oh, I'm gonna post this to like get you guys some likes or whatever. But okay, the baby shower, like all they had was a charcuterie board and dessert table. There was like no actual food.
Oh,
And then when I got home, Albro went to the gym, and then I was like, I don't know, the baby started getting fussy, wouldn't let me put her down. So I was like, okay, DoorDash it is.
I went to
Oh.
make candles with Dailene and I'm burning mine for the first time. I'll show you guys what it looks like.
Oh, I
Ooh.
love that. Yeah, my
Cool.
mom did something like that with the twins. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's so cool how it's kind of burning, like the shapes kind of has like a. That's
It was
cool.
Glow.
it was really fun. I recommend this place up in Willow Glen if you guys ever come up north. It's a triangle shape, so
Do you burn it like in a plate? Oh, it burns in the middle?
yeah. I just have the plate just so in case the wax drips, it doesn't get onto the table. But it smelled. We got to pick our own scent and everything. So Dailene and I chose sandalwood.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah,
looks it looks so cute.
there's
Thank you.
got little turtles popping out. It looked like the ocean.
Yeah, Dailene's was really cute too. Darlene likes like blues and greens a lot. And she had like little wax turtles and they look like they're taking a little bath on the top of her candle.
I'm like getting all this inspiration for like, because a lot of my friends are having their 40th birthdays too. So I'm like, oh, at my 40th, I should have a candle making thing.
I feel like that's so unique. I've never heard that. It's just kind of cool.
Yeah, like I've heard of places, like there's a store kind of near me that does it,
Stop.
but I've never heard of it like at a party. It's super
Yeah.
fancy.
Yeah, I just
Oh my
recently
God, it's
found this
40
place.
not that far away. Kill me. Kill me, Julie. 40 is not that far away. Cute.
I know, I'm like planning it. No, these parties are lit. Well, Judith's 30th was lit. I want to copy like that little walkthrough you did.
Yeah, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. Do
Not the
actually
next
do it.
day.
Yeah.
Fun.
Our neighbors had a 40th block party and they got like a taco truck and
Mm.
kind of went, just got food and left.
Hey, sometimes that's all you need. Just go for the food and dip.
I went
Hey,
to
dinner is expensive nowadays. Any way you can get free food.
mhm.
Do it.
I went to a baby shower yesterday and I felt bad because I feel like usually I try to stay like a good amount of time, but this time I just stay like 2 hours, I think, or maybe hour and a half. I'll say, okay, we gotta go because I had to do homework.
Yeah, at least I say if you show up for like a little bit, like that's fine. You don't have to stay for the whole, like
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't expect everyone to just spend the whole day with me or if I have a party kind of thing. Like if you try to show up and it seems like you actually want to show up, not just like, hey, I think that counts as something, and I think
Oh,
it's
thank you.
beautiful. Yeah, you showed up.
Yeah.
You could honestly just not show up at all and be like, but
Yeah, thank
sometimes.
you. That helps. I always feel like party goer guilt sometimes.
No.
Well, it's like white people parties are only like 2, 3 hours.
We overdo it. Just kidding.
Yeah, during COVID, one of my baby showers, we did like, because we had different ones, but one of them we did like shifts.
Mm-hmm.
That was par for the
Paolo
best.
went to that one. And so you did like either the morning or afternoon. Well, it was like a 2 hour shift, right?
Yeah.
And people loved it.
No,
That's
it's perfect because there
fine.
were people I kind of didn't want to see that were in the first shift. And then the people I
Nice.
wanted were in the afternoon.
Yeah, and then you could like stay a little longer, but the morning people were like,
Yeah,
okay, you guys gotta leave now. And they're like, okay. And they were like super happy.
Funny.
That's
They
awesome.
loved it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
it was
I think
great.
especially when people that just don't vibe or like certain family members that you're like, are having some beef and you're like, well, I don't have beef with them, but
Mhm.
that's smart.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
family
we kind of had a
difference.
schism amongst our friends from a few years ago. But Julie's Switzerland, so she's good with everybody.
Exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah. That's like a perfect situation. Like, well,
And then my family, when they're at like the twins' birthday, like, yeah, they will just leave. Like 2 hours, they're gone. And I'm like, wait, like, we're gonna do cake in a second. We're just waiting for something. And they're like, nope, we're going. I'm like, oh my God.
I have someone who I dearly care for. But it's funny. At her birthday party, I went, and I usually go more towards the beginning just because I'm like very particular sometimes, and I like getting certain spots. I don't like being or like you're in between squished with a lot of people. I like finding
Mhm.
a spot on the edge, and then I saved, and my mom and I needed to head out, so I was like, "Oh, thank you, like for having us at your party." And she's like, "Oh no, you need cake," and I said, "No, it's okay. It's your party. Please don't like you don't have to worry about me getting cake. It's totally fine." And she cut her cake like there on the spot, and I was just standing next to her. I felt so bad. I'm like, "No, it's fine." And she's like, "No, you need cake." So then I like
Oh,
initiated the acceleration of the cake cutting, and I got a little stressed out, but it was all in good fun at the end. But I was like, "No, no." She was
no
like,
one
"You're
wants
gonna
like a whole cake left over.
That's
Exactly.
true,
I
I guess."
was gonna say that. She's like, no, take it. I don't want the whole thing. If you leave, other people will leave. Just kidding.
Well, that's true. Sometimes the first person like starts like a little trail of people. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then today I was packing up all these desserts to take home, and they're like, "Oh yeah, for your kids." I'm like, "No."
No,
This is all-
for me.
I love that. You're like, no, no, I'm good. I'm good.
At
Thank
least you
I'm
got a
like,
good
"Oh, I'm
excuse.
breastfeeding," and they're like, "Okay."
you. I love that.
Like Alvaro will probably have one thing, and I'll eat the rest.
What did they have?
Well, they had little bunt cakes, which I didn't even get to,
Ooh.
and
Those are
then they
always good.
had. My friend brought these. I guess it was from a French bakery. It was
Ooh.
delicious, like these chocolate, almost like a See's candy on crack. Like one was like a rocky road,
Oh.
like this chocolatey kind of, I don't know, like truffly, dipped in chocolate, and one was like a marshmallow chocolatey
Mhm.
one. And then they had some cookies that I didn't even get to while I was there. So I was like, okay, I'll take those home.
Now I want something sweet.
Yeah,
I
same.
know.
I also have leftover desserts from my baby shower that I went to yesterday.
Yeah.
And I got tacos from my mom since I was in Hollister. We did a little like a DoorDash. I was like, "Mom, come out. We have your dinner."
Oh,
Oh,
Thank
so cute.
you. That's
oh,
funny. Mm.
that's nice.
Yeah, I'm glad you still got out even though you're studying.
I'm trying to my mom usually comes over on Sundays too, and it's been hard because I try to wake early and like have all my homework done, but and she doesn't mind. She has her little game she plays on her phone and she talks with Rico, but I feel like my attention is torn. But today I was able to finish in somewhat good time, and I was like, I need outside time. I've literally been inside so much, and I can tell it's affecting my mood.
Mhm.
And like 2 Sundays ago, we went out to eat and we were outside on the patio, and I was like, sun, air. But today we went to a brewery here in Morgan Hill, and my family really likes games and board games, so we brought a few and we got to play. I brought if you guys have ever played Trouble,
Yes.
anyone?
Yes.
My
I
family,
have, but I don't remember how it goes.
It's like the little thing in the center, right? And you have to
yeah.
shake the dice.
So my family and I played a lot. My mom and sister, my mom and dad would play a lot as when we were little. And my family in Mexico also likes to play games, but there's a Mexican version of Trouble. It's called No te enojes or No te encabrones, which is really funny
That's
because
pretty direct. No te
yeah,
enojes.
but I got a little mini board from Mexico, so we played with that one.
It's
Oh,
cute.
that's beautiful. Oh,
Oh,
I didn't
that's
know there
really
was a
pretty.
Mexican version.
Yeah. No, but it's really funny because when I play with my cousins in Mexico, they do get heated, and so the name really suits. And
Yeah,
like
because it's kind of like sorry where you like bump.
yeah, it's very similar.
I think
We
every
have
game should have that name.
yeah, we have the twins have like a couple of them, and yeah, it gets a little heated.
That was
Also,
fun.
it can go on like forever.
Yeah, we were there a couple hours. We had a couple beers. My mom doesn't drink, but there was also a Thai place that was selling food, and we shared sticky rice mango for dessert, and then we came back. So I got my outside time.
That's good. With vitamin D.
Thank you. Yep, it's been a bit of a struggle, but we're getting through it. It'll feel good and when I'm done. And it's a 1 year program and I'm already 3 months in. So I mean, let's
Woo!
done.
Can I go fast?
And then I get to graduate in San Diego, Julie. So
Oh, let's go. Yay. You're going to come?
I come to your house.
Is that June? Yeah, stay with us.
All right, thanks, my friend.
We'll play Trouble. Because what university is it through?
SDSU.
Oh, yeah. Well,
It looks-
Katie, wait, does she still live down there or no?
Katie's still in La Mesa, but she's close to San Diego, and she did her credential at SDSU. So we're both going to be SDSU and Cal Poly alumni. So that's really funny. I
That's
think.
cool. Yeah, she probably lives closer to SDSU, but
Mhm.
we can drive you down. It'll probably be a Saturday.
I'll look into the details and let you
Yeah,
know.
let me know. Let me know.
Thanks. That'll be good to be a reunion.
Woo. Can go to my winery.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Julie took me to one. What was the one you took us to?
Wait, we should all go down. Yeah, that's when I joined
Oh.
Pally.
That was good.
We should all do it when Corina graduates. Oh my gosh.
Down.
Finally, a reunion.
We
Let's
can
do
pick
it.
an actual
Wow,
date.
that's cute. I love it.
Yes, we'll plan it 9 months in advance.
When do you graduate, Corina?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh wait,
I
it's
need
not
to-
for
no,
9
wait.
months. It's
I
not this
need to ask
June.
Katie if SDSU does a winter one, but if I believe they don't, so then it would be in June because the program I started in
Oh.
winter.
The
So
following June.
June next year.
Next year.
Yes.
Yeah.
15 months in advance.
so
We
there's
can
there's
We have
time
time
to plan,
Put in
ladies.
your PTO.
Yeah.
Or we can put what I'm not pretend, but I was like, when you actually finish, we can like do something.
Oh yeah, we could do something in the like winter break or something when I'm done with the coursework. That would be fun too.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
Or we could wait until June and have it really sad. We're like, nobody has plans.
Like,
Yeah.
hopefully you get a lot of tickets so we can all
Yeah, I have no idea because I was remembering, it's so funny, Julie. I still follow like the Cal Poly commencement pages on Instagram, and I saw 2 pictures of like people getting their caps and gowns, and I remember that was and I went to go get our stuff together, and I was like, oh my gosh, blast for the past.
Oh my gosh, his commencement. Oh my God. That thing you do in the morning where he got drunk and
Oh,
his
he
legs
was so
stop working.
hungover. I should remind
His
him.
legs stop working when he gets too drunk. And
Oh no.
I had to put him to bed, and then like I had to do all this stuff for his party.
He went to the Saturday morning thing, but I didn't because I at that moment was also very well. I was hungover Saturday morning. My mom roasted me big time for that, and by the time we got to our ceremony around 4 or 5 p.m., then I was like good to go. But I think it was still too soon for him and a few other friends. But he sat a few rows in front of me. I remember seeing him and some of his math friends, and then I was with Daylene and Katie and Crystal Sanchez.
The bar crawl, right?
Yeah, the Saturday morning choir call.
6 a.m. one?
Yeah.
I didn't go.
That was our goal to go. I don't know what we were thinking, Judith.
I think-
Remember we went out Thursday, Friday, and then we were like, we're dead.
Yeah, I think we went out and we just were out too late. So then we're like, yeah, we're not gonna wake up in 2 hours.
And go like,
Or 3 hours, actually. 3 hours. Like, no, it's not gonna happen.
it's too crazy.
Fun.
I
Oh.
love those pictures though. Those are some of the only ones I have of like his whole family because they all came.
Oh, nice. That's special.
I got to go. The White Lotus is waiting for me.
I
Yay.
haven't watched it. I cut my
I'm
HBO.
behind. I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't seen any of it.
No, it's good. Well, this
Okay.
season's has been a little slow, but I'm like, hey, we're the 4th episode in. It needs to be some juice needs to happen. So
More than no juice? That's not White Lotus. Just kidding.
exactly. That's why I'm like, hey, it better be good. Bless you.
Thank you.
Salud.
It's building.
Bless you.
Okay,
Okay,
so
good night, ladies.
31,
Hey,
only 32.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Bye.